everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the August 2023 Mount Jewett Borough Council meeting. Thank you all for coming. Those of you in the audience, I always like to see people here getting involved. And as such, this is your time, as always. So 5 minutes, if anyone has anything to say to us, go right ahead.
Couple things. First, I noticed a post on Facebook the other night regarding Kingborough and people inquiring about putting up veteran banners over there. And with all the responses on there, it shed a good light on Mount Jewett. So again, kudos to you, to the council, especially you, Chuck. And you know, it puts a good light on the town up here. Also, I see the one thing I requested a little while ago has still not been done. 3 digits on your speed limit sign coming into town, so we have a 1 in the front.
Do we need that?
Do
Do you think we need that? It could happen.
Yeah, I always put something 99, so I'm just asking. But,
You keep testing it, buddy.
okay. And then, I see on the agenda for emergency response plan later on, if I could ask for reserve some time if necessary, for the meeting, if there's any questions.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Regarding the township.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Scott? Teresa, anything?
No, thank you.
I just worried about
All right. We will then.
I'll follow up on Jim's comment about the cane trying to get banners up. The young lady's trying very hard and she's not getting very far. Last time I heard from her, she'd been shot down at the borough level. She came up with some really good options and they're not being very receptive at all. And I've offered up, you know, any type of assistance we can. We picked up, I think, 6 new banners this year total, so we're up to about 160. But you know, she's trying very hard, and I've given her some, you know, what I feel input is to try to make some inroads over there. But she's not getting a lot of good response from the borough.
Yeah, if you were available today to help her out, even just talking to them, that might help.
Yeah,
I'll bring it here.
Yeah.
It's been tremendous. All right. All right, we will move on to Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I met with the Center for Rural Pennsylvania earlier this month. I was invited to attend their annual board meeting, which was in Keene. It was a nice meeting. I expressed some concerns about the library requirement of upping the amount of hours for librarians. It was just a very informal lunch, but it was a good chance to talk about some of our issues here in Mount Jewett and how that kind of reflects the larger rural Pennsylvania community. So I had met with them earlier this year as well with Kate Kennedy and Brandy Shimp when they were in Keene, and had a nice conversation. So it was a good follow-up, and they're going to look into the library issue for us. And I think it was just nice for us to be represented there. So that was good. The members of the board are several state senators and state representatives, so they definitely got the message loud and clear that, you know, what concerns Mount Jewett. And we talked about the lunch program at the library a lot as well, so they were excited to hear about that and had some good recommendations that I was going to pass on to the coalition. But other than that, working through the emergency plan update, we can talk about that later in the meeting as well, but reached out to Jerry Recker and to set up a meeting, and we're just going to figure out what day works for all the folks who need to be in that meeting as well. So that's what I got.
A motion to accept the mayor's report?
Motion. Second.
Tom motion, Brett second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Take a look at the maintenance report.
See something you didn't put on there, of course, you might have it going on next month since it was, we did it in August, but they took the pressure washer up to the park and was clean that also.
I've been doing it today.
Yeah, and, as far as down there at the bottom, the street sweeper, that was a big plus, you know, for them to, you know, get over. I hope we can send them a nice thank you. I mean, don't
I
know
did
what the-
send them a nice
what the
thank
charge
you,
is, but, you know, whatever.
It was $562. I did send a nice thank you. I also told them that if they were willing to do it, we may be interested in next year having them do our streets. So, you know, I told them that they did a really nice job and we were very happy with it. And then he had run out of water, so the guys went down and did the lower part of the street that he couldn't get to.
Yeah, I didn't realize it.
They went and, yeah, they went and
They said
swept.
they weren't prepared and he didn't think to bring the
Yeah,
extra hoses over
yeah.
to.
So the guys went down and swept it by hand and cleaned up what was there, so.
How did we do on cars on the street? Were they clear?
I think
There's
every-
only one in front of the,
Post.
post up there
Yeah.
was the only one that they had an issue with.
Right.
In front of the post.
Well-
Up to VFW.
Yeah, even Pam Stolly moved her vehicle. Cause I got a hold of her and asked her to move that,
The
her van
damage
off
is-
of the yard, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only one, 'cause there was a couple on the street at 6, but when I went out and saw where they were coming, I called my brother and he went over to the coffee shop, told him to get them out of there, a person turned around and back and moved.
Barb, how much did you say they charged? Because I didn't hear you.
$562.
Oh, that's
Any further discussion on the maintenance report? Motion to accept it.
I'll motion.
Chris motions. Tom seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Move on to Laura.
Okay, I have my task grant already. The EATS group's gonna review it before I do my final submission. But, everything I got back from everybody who looked at it and read it, they were very happy with it. I think there were 3 things that they asked me to change, but other than that, they said it was good, so let's keep our fingers crossed. There was a mix-up in last December. Ernie Rankin had brought his, letter in to be reappointed to the sewer, but it wasn't actually his term that was up, it was actually Butch Colley's. They were under the understanding when it says their term is up in 2023, he thought it was the beginning and it's actually the end. Any term is up at the end of each year. So we kind of need to rescind that motion and then do one for Butch Colley. And then Ernie's can be redone in January.
Which Collie is,
Yes, he wants to stay on, so. And I went back and looked and Chris motioned and Robin seconded the original motion, so they would have to rescind it.
I'll make a motion to rescind. And
Okay.
then I'll make a motion to put Butch Colley, back on this, to reappoint Butch Colley to the school
Okay.
board.
Okay, and then we have a meeting tomorrow for the sewer and I'll explain to them what happened and so they all know that they'll have to put their letter in.
All right, well, Chris and Robin rescinded and
Made the motion.
made the
Yes.
motion to, put Butch,
Yep.
on the sewer board, so, go ahead and call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
I'll
opposed?
abstain.
All right,
Me too.
all right.
I'll put the letter in.
Yeah, I still carry it. That's it. Sorry, Barb. Did you?
Okay, September's meeting is scheduled to be on Labor Day. Do you guys want to keep it there? Do you want it the next day? Do you want it the next week?
I can't do the next day, but I can do the 11th.
I'm fine with the 11th.
I'm fine with the 11th.
My daughter's birthday, she's the boss.
No.
Yeah.
Next year, we're gonna look at the calendar at the beginning of the year.
no problem.
We
It
good?
doesn't matter either way to me, but you say you can't make the 4th
I can't make the 5th.
or 5th, I'm sorry.
That's my daughter's birthday.
But
Seven manager.
The 4th is gonna be, again, a day off for her. And I don't like.
Well, it's for all of you. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
it's up to you
So,
guys.
my
I
vote
just
for-
brought
my
it up
vote's for the
because I
11th,
didn't know.
If everyone's okay with it.
Yeah, the 11th.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Who wants to make a motion that we do it the 11th?
I'll motion.
Brett, motion, Robin seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very quiet room, but I heard no opposition.
Okay. Swedish Festival, last year, we closed the office Thursday and Friday. Are we doing that again this year? It's up to you guys.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Brett makes the motion to close the office Thursday and Friday for Swedish Festival. Frank seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Okay. We have a land contract, or a land subdivision, of course, that's on the new business. I've looked it over, I sent it to everybody. It's really a no-brainer.
That's
It's
the
his,
angled one where he's-
it's his
Yeah.
property,
Yeah.
he just wants to straighten up the, so if you wanna do that now, we can, if not, we can wait.
Has everybody had a chance to look at what she's referring to? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll motion.
All right, Frank motions to approve the
I'll
land
second.
shift. Chris seconds.
Okay,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll abstains.
yeah, okay. All right, I just want everybody to know, the local share, statewide share grant program is open again this year. It's what I applied for last year for the equipment for the sidewalk. However, it'll let you do infrastructure stuff too. There's $100 cost to apply, but I was going to put in, if it's okay with all of you guys, for Anderson Street, I had Sean Augusti, our municipal rep, up. He gave us a quote or a thing for Anderson Street. It will be $674,000 to do the drainage and pave Anderson Street. I just want to know if you guys want to try to get the money from there.
Does that get sidewalks too?
No.
No.
When John was here, Barb called and asked me what I thought, and when it came to sidewalks, you have to keep this grant under $1 million to get to the pool. And I knew with the drainage alone, we were gonna be a couple $100,000. So I figured with the asphalt, last time we paved it,
What was that?
2006, it cost us $100,000 then. So I knew it was probably gonna be at least double that. So to keep it under, it doesn't make sense. Now, that local share, it's every year. So we get that phase done, we can always go back for sidewalks.
There enough room for sidewalk?
Pardon me?
Sidewalks there now.
Not all
There's
the way
not
down.
all the way up. It's only partially.
No, that's
There
what we
used to
looked
be-
at, yeah.
Right, once you get to a certain spot though, there are no sidewalks. Like
Yeah,
up by
well,
Frank's, there aren't
They're
sidewalks.
not, but there used to be in all of it, because I've done a lot of curb stops up there, just like Division Street. Once you get up, there's sidewalk there, it's just under that much grass. When you go digging for a curb stop, block the sidewalk. Some people had it removed, some people left them. But what we'll have to do with that, when we get there, send out letters, see if people want them. You know what I mean, they're on our right of way, but you don't want them. That makes sense.
Might be good
Because then they
to
gotta
pair that with-
maintain.
Might be good to pair that with lighting, because the lighting isn't great out there.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can always reapply for a phase 3 on the grant that.
And I had him, when he did it, it took it all the way up to our borough line on Anderson Street. So it would go, past where the last house is.
Yeah.
That's past the A-frame, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay? Is it okay with everybody if I go ahead?
Do we need to make that a vote?
Is that a motion?
Whatever.
I'll make a motion to apply for the grant for Anderson Street.
All right.
I'll second it.
Chris motion, Brett second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Am I allowed to vote on that?
There you
Why would you be here?
Yeah.
are. No, you're, you vote.
You're not personally benefiting, you just had a sludge street.
It's benefiting everybody in
Increases my
town.
property value.
Yeah, well,
Really? I don't know.
I'm not sure the
Hey,
sidewalks did a lot for
10
things.
cents is 10 cents.
Oh, there you go.
okay.
So I just wanna make a statement on the manager's report. Barb, I wanna thank you. I know how hard you worked on both these grants that you did. She has put in for now about $1.6 million worth of improvements to the borough for grants. And even if we don't get them, she took a tremendous amount of time and effort and stress putting in, especially phase 2 of the sidewalk grant. And I appreciate everything you've done, and I hope we get it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I hope we get it too. Thank you.
Definitely appreciate your efforts.
I know.
Huh?
Can you put that in the minutes?
No, she's just kidding.
All
Okay,
right,
that's all I
yes,
have.
I will accept a motion to accept.
I'll make a
Barbara.
motion.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
Chris will make that motion. Second?
I'll second.
Who's that, Brett? All right, Chris, motion, Brett, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, take a moment to look over the minutes. If there's no questions or problems, they will stand as presented. Any questions or concerns? All right, let's move on to the treasurer's report, payment of bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial statement and payment of bills.
Barbara makes a
We
motion.
had the new bill we just got.
No, I haven't. It wasn't on the,
Can
because
we
it
add
just,
it? We don't have to wait.
can we add it? Yeah, yeah.
Everybody get the bill for Davis Electric?
Oh,
Probably
it's
ought
over
to,
there.
probably ought to be added and decided where the funds are gonna come from to pay that.
Oh, yeah. You want to discuss that here? Because we can do
I
that.
just wonder how much.
7,000.
7,000.
We're either going to discuss it here or at the building, so
Huh?
we can either discuss it here or we can discuss it at the building, but if we need to figure out the money, where it comes from, we can discuss it.
Money wise, I looked through the financial statement before we got here and talked to Barb. Chris, I think, you know, we just pay it out of the general fund, and then at the end of the year, if we have to transfer
Transfer, we
to
will.
cover, we will out of
Capital
either the Pliget
improvement.
account.
Yeah.
Or capital
Capital
improvement,
Capital
yep.
improvement, that's fine.
So, there it had to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I have pictures if anybody wants to see the lack of conduit and how dangerous it was. I was there the rest of the way, and we're very lucky when the guys pressure washed the floor, they didn't like what we did. Because it was cloth wrapped wiring with no conduit. The conduit, it appeared to be there, but it was all corrosion. The water could very easily seep through. We could have had not one or two dead maintenance employees. God forbid, Boy Scouts, when something goes on, rainy night, and to do fish fries or French fries and stuff in there. No good.
Okay, so the motion will include the payment of bills, will add the additional $7,000 from the general fund, am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
and then
very
if we
good.
need to,
I'll,
we'll-
I'll second that if it needs a second.
Chris, was that your motion?
That's my motion.
Modified motion from Chris to include the 7,000. Chuck seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Move on to the committee reports. Maintenance of streets and buildings.
Good part of it on the building as far as.
True.
Streets where, do some more patching, see where we know we got some more stuff from Hot Baker. Doing some patching stuff, otherwise they've been busy trying to get things ready for the Swedish Festival, everything's looking good. Brett, do you have anything we need to add? Oh, what about the truck? Did we ever get that?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, the Jexton signed, and then Bart's got a letter approved to sign for the title transfer, and it'll be in our name and paid for tomorrow. 19th of this month, the equipment for the outfit will be in down at Ridgeway, and they stated it's going to take 1 day to get the truck ready.
Yeah, I was just thinking as far as, because they gotta park it elsewhere.
Yeah. Guys are gonna take them down to their place, park them out in their backyards. Borough lot's dim lit, nobody's ever there. It's really no good place
Right.
out there, so it's
I
taking,
want to see that brand new one sitting there.
yeah, somebody gonna key it or something, so we're gonna take them down. As a matter of fact, they've been keeping the blue one down there this week, and, when they can actually drive the white one, they'll take it. We've got a plate, and it is insured, it's just, it still belongs to Ford. I can't believe they dropped it off, never seen anything like that, week and a half. Here's the truck, no check, oh, there it is. You're
It
ready.
was very weird. Right.
That's
That it?
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to finance.
I really don't have anything.
All right, finance is good. Personnel? Chuck?
I've made contact with the employees personally, and everything is good. I have nothing to really report.
No news can be good news. All right, community development, planning, parks, Frank?
Well, the ice skating rink, I'm waiting on the engineer. Apparently somebody's on vacation, which is that time of year. We had a meeting. People brought up the ideas of maybe an outdoor pickleball field, outdoor volleyball. They also brought up the idea of maybe if we built something that's multiple use, like the ice skating rink be used as ice skating in the winter, but in the summer, roller skate. Maybe it could be sized that it could actually be pickleball court.
Pickleball or tennis would probably be the most logical in an ice skating rink, I
Probably.
would think.
So keeping that in mind, because we have very limited space back there. The boosters really want to have their T-ball field. And I guess that's going to include fence and the whole 9 yards, and that whole back area, I guess what they're planning is going to take at least half that area. So I think we end up with maybe 100 feet where an ice skating rink might fit.
We own plenty more land.
Oh, we do, and but then that would require that we would clear, another,
Well,
Oh.
and that's always a possibility.
There's a good chunk of space between the old gazebo and
I'm
the
getting there.
concession facility.
The old gazebo, that they were thinking clearing more trees out, making it more open.
which one's the old gazebo?
What about
I don't
The,
know.
the, what do they call it? So the thought was possibly clearing that more. I really wouldn't know where to get a quote for that.
I know the guys have been working at taking trees that need to come down in that area down all summer.
So just wait.
Well, I don't know,
See how
I'm
far
just
we get.
saying, I know that they have taken
Quite a bit.
probably 7 or 8 down that have
After the
needed to be
trees cut
down.
down, then John Hutchins gave us a good price.
Right.
He's insured.
Are they coming down because they're not healthy or dangerous?
No.
So that's another thing. How many
They're bad.
trees do you take out before you start saying, well, now we're just killing trees?
Do you log for money? Is there anything underneath the log?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're a long way from cutting down trees.
Oh, I know we are, I just,
Oh, yeah,
I just
that's a
came
down
out,
road.
sorry.
You know, there are several avenues we could address here. That guy that's been up there doing it locally, he's up behind me on Dayton Street right now, taking down 3 huge pines, huge.
Well, that's a good question, I guess we could always talk to a forester, there might be a couple of trees of value. Make a couple grand, like.
Maybe.
I just wasn't sure.
Slide out an area, come up with a plan for what and where.
The desired spot for the swing set, they want it right where it's all open there, where all the other playground equipment is. You have the child swing, you have the whole swing set, you have the, I guess it's a skateboard
Yeah.
concrete, right there in the middle there, big old open area. So that's the thought where they wanna put it, because then it definitely won't interfere with the idea of the ice skating rink or whatever else is done.
That's where the volleyball coach used to be.
Is that what it used to be? I know they said that, some of these things actually did exist at one time, just like the hillslide. which it's always up in the air. But with the swings, it's pretty much been settled that it has to be done professionally. And I'm gonna try to get a quote as far as that goes, but I do notice that we got about, I don't know, $1,400 of the 2,000 that was assigned for street sweeper.
We've used that for something else though.
Did you? I don't know.
We've done
It
it a
just
couple
seems
of
like
times.
every time
we need
something
I
comes
know
up,
last
it's-
month we allocated it for something.
We allocated
Well,
$2,000.
1,500 of it was to go to
to
the
And
constables.
then we used it for
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the meeting before that too.
Yeah.
So we'd have to check to see if there's actually any left.
Well, I'm just saying that if the money's actually there, it really wouldn't be a bad idea to, I don't know, help them out.
Does coalition have money left over? I know that they did at one point.
$200, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
I think once we get an estimate, see how much they have, we can figure out.
I thought they said that theirs wasn't allowed to be used for
It may not be,
facilities.
but they might have.
That's what I have
they
in
might
my
be able to raise
minutes.
funds another way. I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
was in the minutes that they're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just, because I don't know about the grant. That
So
would
we're
be-
just gonna need a number to get an estimate of what that's gonna be.
Well, I guess as soon as Marilyn has time, she'll send you
Yeah, and that's fine,
the drawings.
because they're supposed to come in next, or October maybe, next month, October?
September.
We're not gonna get that thing in this one.
No, I don't think so either. I think we've got the winter to figure it out.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that in this
If
one.
that involves coalition doing a fundraiser for it, that's an option.
Yeah.
If we
That
can
could be
meet it
this year,
somewhere.
we can look at next year's budget.
Well,
Right now.
Yeah.
Correct. So.
Yeah, 'cause I don't see it going in this year.
I,
I could see putting it, it'd be silly to put it in this late in the season.
well, yeah, there's really not gonna be a benefit to
No.
doing it. 'cause-
Yeah.
The school starts in a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
so that would be, so that gives us time to get a number and like Brett said, look at the budget and see what the options are and make it happen.
And then, I don't know, maybe think about a shed out there somewhere to store things, like Christine maybe, thought of, putting swings and stuff away for the winter. Nice little shed, put stuff like that. If we had decided, let's say, a pickleball thing, that could be done many different ways because it has rubber matting and stuff you could put down.
What's the shed that's up there, what do they
That's
use
a
that
little
for?
league shed.
That's the little league
For
thing.
little league.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I think they
Is
also
that
have-
fairly secure? Do we have any issues with,
No, there's no problem with it. So we've been used to, I don't know if there is now, I'm not the board
But they
anymore.
still-
all right, 'cause, you know, as long as you have
Yeah.
good lighting and security, you know, then it will be less prone to theft and vandalism.
Right.
So we could even talk about sharing space with them if they have any in there.
Well, we had that little, where the server room used to be, I think we used to keep some stuff in there.
Yeah, there's a storage room between the back.
And there's also
Oh, yeah.
both ways out here they can put stuff in too, if there's not that much.
Right. So that might be a thing, way to start, and then as it
Yeah.
grows, maybe get something out there.
We were talking about lighting, the solar lighting, I guess apparently in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, there's a way of getting money for projects such as that. But that won't be available until like 2025, and I can't seem to figure out what the exact number would be that we would get. You actually end up getting a rebate, even though we don't pay taxes. There's a Form 990T that has to be filled out, and I think the lighting and whatever project it is, has to be in place and operational the year you're putting in for the, so, I mean, if you're just looking at the lights, let's say in the back, I got a price for 3, it's probably gonna require 6, so you're talking $20-some odd thousand, you know, it's like a $30,000 project. That's a whole lot of money to put out.
That you might not get back.
Well, that's the thing, I think
I think it
I
said
sent an email asking that it goes to the lawyer.
When I read that thing, I think it said 6% for government organizations.
60%?
6.
6%.
I don't know. And then
I
there's,
mean, I don't know, that's the way I read it.
and I was reading, I thought it said 55 cents per kilowatt or something. So I don't know. That's why I think it should go to the lawyer and he should look at it and see, or unless there's an actual CPA that knows.
I don't know.
We got until 2025.
Right.
So it's not like it has to be done tomorrow. But just so we know what we would get. and if it would be worth it.
Right. Okay.
And I think that's it.
All right. Are you confident that that's it?
I'm pretty confident,
All right, I'll take it.
and I don't know when the next part of the meeting will be.
That's fine, but thank you for all that. It's a lot to chew on. And lots of planning going on, which is good. Right in the title, planning. Fire department. Would you like to talk?
Yeah, I guess. Is
Since
everybody?
you're here?
Huh?
Since you're here?
Since I'm here, I guess everybody can see that the sign's finally done.
That's really
My
good.
number one nemesis for now is up and running. I want to thank the borough employees for digging the ditch. You know, getting that done. Getting Tommy Davis for getting the electric and everybody in the department just kicking in, getting that whole thing all completed up for the festival. It
Can I
is like-
interrupt you for a minute?
Huh?
This may be the time to address that money that they put out for conduit, because I didn't make a check for it yet. Okay.
So, we'll cover that later. Our new truck, we even got that, imagine that. But it ain't here.
Oh, got it, Bill, got it.
It's
We
so-
got it, but don't got it.
So close.
It's so close, but so far away.
It's been a nightmare.
We took it down, dropped it off at Martin's, where the bed's being built. They had the bed for over a year. Got down there, it's not right. It's not what we ordered. So I called them Friday, they said 2 weeks out. So hopefully I'll let it go for the 2 weeks, then I'll call them back, and hopefully they can come, tell us to come down and get it. So that'll be a 2023 F-554 purchase. And the aluminum bed and everything. It's our new utility truck is what it is. Oh, geez, what else? We met with the mayor and them on the, well, a couple different things we gotta meet on right
She's gonna get to that in a little bit.
Okay,
We'll get to
then
the
I'll-
house, we'll get to the house numbers.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna get the house numbers too? Okay, then I guess that's it for me until we do the,
So we can talk about the conduit.
yeah, kind of.
Any new members on the horizon?
We picked up Brett, he's come back.
We picked up 2 last month.
And,
This month.
Shrek Gloss from Kane, he's living over here now, so he's a, interior firefighter, so we did pick up that too.
Dick's son?
Huh?
Dick's son?
Yes,
I thought I seen him on the sky.
yeah, he's up there. Yeah, we picked up him and Brett, you know, we both come back, so we're back to back, and we picked him up today.
Are there any recruitment ideas or suggestions or anything that maybe we could do as a council to try to get some more interest and involvement?
When the festival's over, we talked about this last Thursday at our meeting, when the festival's over, we're gonna put it on the sign. You know, it's tough for, unless you already have your basics,
Yeah.
it's tough because it's like 180 hours.
The
that
cost
they're
is-
wanting
is-
now. The cost is a lot, but the thing is, the department reimburse you, but it's the time that you have to put in to get your basics.
But we're also gonna be trying to educate the public about what a social member is
Yeah.
and the benefits of being active. It still helps. even if you're not
Social
active
member
in
or just
firefighter.
an active member, you can be
Yeah.
an active member but not go like run the calls that we run.
Right, and that still helps with a lot of fundraising and the other things that they're
Yeah.
doing. But yeah, it's, if there are brainstormed ideas for it,
Yeah,
ears are open because, yeah, I mean,
Or-
recruitment's a big deal.
I'm open for any suggestions or whatever. So, you know,
Is there anything in the pipeline through the state that will help volunteer emergency responders that's out there as far as, you know, because they're the ones that.
state dictates how many hours you have to have, and that's what they're gonna do.
It'd be nice if they'd lower that number.
They started out years
An hour or
ago,
something.
44.
they went to 40 hours, then it was 44. When I did it, it was 80. I took the last, it was 80, then it went up to 120, now it's like 180. They ain't dropping it down for the guys to get their time, they're adding more. Cause I don't know.
I don't know if they're fully aware that they're creating a crisis.
They know what
in these
they're doing.
small-
They see
Or
insurance- see
want-
insurance companies.
They want us to shut down.
the state knows what they're doing about trying to get the volunteers down, or trying to close houses and combine houses.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and it's
about
rough.
that.
You had that thought of combining the houses.
Well, that went over like a fart in church.
I brought it up too.
But, you know,
I still think it's a good idea, but people don't, I mean, nobody even wanted to even do an exploratory committee on consolidation.
you know, I mean, as far as getting people to, they don't have to be a firefighter or anything like that. They can be an active member or just a social member that won't help out.
Yep.
And you have, you know, you don't have any reliability or anything. You don't have to worry about getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and running out the door.
Well, and that's good, and I can value and appreciate a social member, or whatever you wanna call it, but we really, you know, we need people that can turn out for the emergency. That's, I mean, that's the thing, and I don't know whether we could, you know, try to put the heat on, you know, through PSAB or our local, state representatives and
Marty Coggins been trying.
well, I know he has, but he needs to hear from us as a group and as individuals collectively to say, look, you know, we appreciate what you're doing, but we need to see some action on helping these, you know, to get certifications.
I'd actually like to see them drop it back down to 80 hours. Bring back fire school and stuff work like it was years ago. And you did your classes and everything there on the weekends, and you did anything else that went above and beyond that, you know, you just did that.
What do you think, Mr. President, about making some contact with the people who control it? You can change that. There's gotta be an entity at Harrisburg and through the PSAB and also through Marty Causer.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have conversations and see if they'll let it occur. Because we're on the ground, you guys are on the ground.
You see the articles in the PSAB magazine, you know we're facing a crisis.
Right.
And we're not an exception. The whole state is in the same position. And all of these small towns are, I don't care whether you go to Eldred or anywhere.
We're all in the same boat.
Right,
Yeah.
so,
Get a sense of what they're hoping to see out of all this. I don't know, it's a good idea. All right, anything more on that, or we need to talk about this conduit situation?
Talk about the conduit. So, they laid out, I think Tommy sent me the amount, 300 and change for conduit, the fire
Three-
department paid.
320, I think it's on the bills pending.
Okay. There.
332.89.
Tom talked to the contractor, dropped it off, the fire department paid for the conduit, and it was never put in. So where the conduit went, that's why the borough guys dug that. They put in a stubbed out piece. We had talked during design, the fire department might want to put in a memorial park of some sort. So we asked them, hey, when you build this, stub out a knockout for them letting us use their property to supply the electric. It's all good. Then, the year passes, they get this sign, we're still in the middle of this sidewalk project. Hey, instead of just doing that knockout, how about you lay this conduit, put it out, and, well, you have the sidewalk far out anyhow, just put it out, stub it out, reapply their sign. Yeah, no problem. So Tommy Davis goes, talks to the foreman, gives them this material, the fire department pays for it. They get the sign ready to set, they run the stake down, it goes in 10 feet, doesn't even get under sidewalk. Yes, they never put it in. We got thinking about it. When they did the electrical, that was done and ready by Christmas time. They didn't replace this sidewalk till this spring. They never put it in. Now, what did they do with it, I don't know. So, what I told the guys at the fire department and I talked to Marv about, we pay the final bill, we haven't got it yet. So if we pay the fire department back, reimburse them, then we'll just fight the company on the final bill, we won't pay. So instead of the fire department having to go after that, we pay the fire department, we just take it out of the final bill costs.
300 and,
32.89.
I think that's totally
Yeah, that's
reasonable.
reasonable.
There's something else that you're holding back too, isn't it?
There's all sorts of stuff going on.
So.
We haven't
Final bill
got the
money.
final bill yet, but.
Since it's money, do we want to make that a motion?
It's already approved, it's been spent.
Well, as far as this exact fire hall thing, was that approved?
Yep.
It's in the bills.
It was in the bills paid, bills pending.
Oh, that we're paying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think everybody, they're aware of why.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. There it is. Cool. All right, so that's where that stands. We'll take on that battle.
You can have it.
We'll never find the conduit, but maybe we could not pay for it too.
Well, I'm not sure what they did, but your first light, there's a box there. We pop that box apart, we pop the lid off that. There's a conduit running with a empty conduit in that. Okay, it's got a line where you can pull wire through it. Then there's another piece of conduit that runs up to the light just above the library. We opened that box out. And that has a line running to it with a yellow rope tied in it where you can pull.
Oh,
So I don't know if they took the conduit and put it and just laid it
yeah, I
in there.
don't know. Maybe they did it in the wrong place and got confused.
I don't know, but you have, if you pop them two covers off, you'll find that you got you got empty pipe in each one of them with, line already set full wire.
I'm sure that's very useful.
They go nowhere. Unless you guys have a problem with light, then you're good.
All right. Anybody got anything else on fire department? Move on to library. Ms. Robin. Nothing?
Go ahead. I'm not the library committee.
No, but you said something last time and you shot it down, so everything you said.
Okay. I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know. All
Well,
right.
I was there. They did a waiver for full-time employment because we can't afford it right now. And discussed programming, and that's about it.
Okay. So things are chugging along at the library. Stay with the sewer, as far as I know. Right.
Meeting tomorrow. Still flowing down, yeah.
Sewage truck.
Well, hopefully we'll clear that. There's some chugging involved.
I'm sure.
All right, non-specific code enforcement update, is there one?
I know Bar's been working with all three of us, on the letters that she had sent out and, a couple of issues, and she's doing a great job, and I just like to commend her for having to deal with some of the stuff she has to deal with. And I'd like, when you talked before about getting the ones we already have started cleared up,
Yeah.
and then we just need to sit down and start running over the ordinances.
Yeah, and I'll echo that because Barb goes a little bit above and beyond
Yes,
when it
she
comes to
does.
these letters. There's a lot of
Back and forth.
courtesy.
Yes.
FYI, she gives additional information like, hey, you have an issue with a derelict car, here's 6 options of how to take care of that.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
that sort of thing, which is really helpful. She's under no obligation to do that, so I do appreciate that. I hope the community appreciates that. It's like, we're not trying to be the bad guys here, certainly that's not Barb's goal. It's about, we do have these ordinances, we need people to be aware of them, we need to try to all be in compliance with them, and if there's an issue there, it's an FYI, and here's where you're in violation, these are our steps, but if you communicate with us, we'll work with you, because we understand, things happen, let us know what's going on, and then it's usually not a big deal. So I want to commend Barb, I know she handled a lot of tense situations, she took that on, just to help us out.
Yes.
And
The
it's
last time
a
she did
thankless
those
job.
hits, all she got was grief.
Exactly.
Grief.
And it's happening again, and she still doesn't get nasty with people, so I
No.
appreciate that.
No, she doesn't.
Because she could.
I lost
I've seen code enforcement officers do it. Yes, sir.
There was a gentleman who was scheduled to be here this evening, but he's not. And he received a notice of violation. And I did not speak with him, but it's my understanding that one of his issues was he was pointing out other violations in the community in the same neighborhood in which he was. Now, that really serves no purpose. I mean, if you're in violation, you're in violation, and to point a finger at other people's properties, you don't know whether there's action being taken, whether there's letters being written, or anything of that nature on anybody else's situation. So in a way, I'm a little, I wouldn't mind him being here and discussing his own situation and why he received a letter. But I do know this, Barb, when did we receive
There was a
notice
little
of?
kid in there.
sorry, I'm speaking. When did we receive notice at the council that you were going to start, and you asked us as council members, you asked us specifically to
Yeah,
make
I'm
sure
thinking
that
it
our own
was,
areas.
I'm
We
thinking
put-
it was the beginning of the year, or maybe the beginning of
We put Barb in a rough
spring.
position when we as council members have properties that need addressed in our own right. And it's pretty hard for her, she's caught in the middle when we as council members don't take care of our own property. So I just want to bring that out, and I think that we as council members, we need to set the standard and put our best foot forward and not, so somebody can't come back and say, well, how come this property owner that has to be a council member doesn't comply? Thank you for your time.
I agree with that. And then definitely that it's all privacy issues, so if you have an issue with someone else's, if you have an issue with your own, like you were saying, and then you bring up someone else's, you're not going to know what's being handled over there. There are privacy concerns, but it doesn't mean it's being ignored. You know, Barb works really hard at this. That's why we created this committee, to be on top of this better, since we don't have an officer out there beating the streets. We're doing it as an entire council, working with Barb to make sure that we're doing the best we can. Bring us complaints and concerns that you have, that's what we're here for. But let's all be nice about it, because we're just trying to do good for the community and help everybody out, safety and all those kinds of things, so. That's that. I assume there'll be another meeting at some point?
Yeah, that's fine.
I understand, me too.
I know you have.
All right, anything more on any of the committees? The borough building, I know we talked about the electrical. I would like to propose maybe in next year's budget or sometime before that, considering that situation went unnoticed for who knows how long, that maybe we do a full inspection of this building, just to know if there's any other surprises, and that way we can better plan for that. So I don't know if that's something we can work into the budget for next year, but I think that should be a priority, because it scares me that we had a dangerous situation like that. Thank God it didn't go that direction. So that's my thought. I don't know if anybody else has anything about the building.
How would that be? Hire an inspector, a contractor, or what?
I'd be able to use Ron, our building inspector, you know, come down, go over everything, see what's shaped up.
Yeah. Help us prioritize things as you do.
Yeah,
Well, that can't be a huge expense, is it?
I would think not.
We're dealing with them on some issues with the code committee, so I can talk to them, somebody's in town.
That would be a good item to discuss.
Ever got anything back on that from the attorney?
I haven't got anything back from Russ.
Oh.
I haven't consulted the attorney yet, because I asked him how to proceed with that.
Remind me tomorrow, I'll get a cell phone number.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get a reasonable cost on it, we'll just knock it out and get it done. All right, house numbers. That was on me. I was in the process of scheduling a meeting when there was a traumatic life incident that impacted my family. So that meeting has not yet happened. I will be scheduling it for the next 2 weeks. I was speaking to the mayor. We both have meetings that involve members of the fire department and members of this council. So our thought is we're considering just combining those and getting it knocked out. So it would be to address the house numbers and the emergency operations plan. Maybe get both of those done in one meeting so we're not bothering people too much. So Brianna's gonna talk a little bit more about the emergency response plan, but that's kind of where we're at probably on that. So in the next 2 weeks or so, I'd like to see if we can't figure out a night that works for whoever's interested in being a part of it. As a reminder for the house numbers, the plan is to informally come up with what we're looking for. We're not gonna write the ordinance, but we're gonna come up with exactly the parameters of do we want these on every house and how many feet from the street, all these sorts of things. Based on our existing ordinance, what kind of changes need to be made. Once we come up with that determination, then we can move forward to actually change the ordinance as necessary to mandate these numbers. That was the plan that was discussed. Hanging baskets for the same reason, and for me, I didn't get finished, and now it's too late, so Barb, I guess we can table that till next year.
We'll still be kind of looking
Yeah, for
for
sure.
next year.
But
I
hope we
felt
don't need
it was
to-
already too late anyhow.
Right, but I was hoping I could at least get.
Do you want me to leave it
something.
on old business,
I
just so we
know
don't
if it needs a ride
forget?
all
or-
year, but it could. We'll talk about it. I don't know right now. far as I know, we covered the ice skating rink. Nothing
Pretty
additional.
much. So we get any kind of quotes.
Right, emergency response plan?
Yeah, I think it makes sense for us to sit down and talk about how some of this is done. As far as emergency response plan, we talked at our meeting earlier, or I guess last month, about having a practical plan of if this happens, then this is how we respond. So, we're gonna talk about that, and like I said, we're gonna, I talked to Jerry about those on the council, and otherwise, the NIMS training, so he will talk with us about that. And if anyone needs, if we've done it, but you need updated, I let him know that there's a handful of us that need that training, and he said he would talk to us about it. So, I'm just gonna pull schedules and see when everyone can meet, to meet with him, and then separately, I think we'll just circle back with you guys, Scotty, on a day that we can sit down and think about a practical plan, but also then we have phone numbers that need to get updated on the current existing emergency plan. So I messaged Jim about getting those, and, talked to Barbara about it too. I just was out of town, and didn't get that done, so that's the updated part of the plan that we'll have, be updated aside from a kind of workable, if this happens, this is how we respond, sort of very practical, 1-page, 2-page plan. So, Jim, I know you said you wanted to say something.
Yeah, like, not only with the train, but also the windstorm we had several weeks ago. And, that night I was contacted by my emergency manager, it was Mike Mangan. And, he gave me an update on everything, you know, just to make me aware. But, I discussed with him just real quick that, I want to work with you and Borough and Jerry to get a plan put together for our area, primarily because of the train, but also because we are prone to windstorms right around here too. Or sometimes, hazmat, either going to town, white loads, anything like that. Last week we had a line down here with a white load, anything like that. But, yeah, just keep me informed.
For sure, yeah, we'll look in and get him on the meeting. So,
Thank you.
And,
yeah, that's all.
but I wanna thank the mayor for spearheading that meeting and getting the ball rolling on this, and getting these conversations and communications going, so we're moving in a good direction on that, so I feel good about that. Anything else on old business? I think we covered it all. Yes, sir.
Not on old, well, we already did.
We did kind of cover that.
The parking signs, they're still out back, right? Would you have time to make the dates, the time, the date
Yep.
on that? And then,
Same as last year, right? 4 to 7. Yep,
And then,
will do.
and then when they do the pie contest, she has a refrigerator window, she could roll it in and plug it in here.
Sure.
Is there an issue with that? I mean, it's a brand new refrigerator.
No, it'd be fine.
We just need it for Saturday, we'd have to, have them get it down a little early, so we set it
Okay.
in here.
Yep, that's fine.
Um,
If you want to bring it in earlier, that's fine too.
I'll talk to Rick. 'Cause
Okay.
I just want to get the council's approval as far as setting it in here.
All right, as part of old business and tied to Swedish Festival, we do need to follow up on last month's discussion about the open carry that they proposed, and we had told them we would need to see insurance with the rider, and I understand Brett has some information on that.
Gonna do that before the gear subdivision.
Well, it's under old business, so I kind of.
We already did the gear
Oh, you did that?
subdivision.
Yeah, I just want to.
Okay, yeah. So I had a conversation with the chairwoman of the Swedish Festival yesterday and talked about the insurances and everything, and expressed that I'd really like to get this done so that we don't have any issues, and kind of explain the borough's standpoint on why it needed to be done and the liability issues therein. And very good about it, and reached out with their treasurer. They called the Schubon Insurance Agency. Everything was supposed to be in by today. It didn't come in, the actual certificate of insurance. The Swedish Festival has paid $1,500 for the cover for alcoholic beverages and applied the borough as a rider to it. Schubon Insurance has my email address, and they're going to email it to me tomorrow when they get it. They had to farm it out to another company. They told me the name, like 4 names in one, that is going to be holding the policy. And I feel confident as long as we have it by Thursday, there's no problem. What I did express to Leslie was that if we didn't have it, this is just my opinion, I would not repeal the open container because we all have, our building has insurance. If somebody were to fall, even if they get drunk in a fire hall and come down here without a beer can in their hand, we're covered for that. But the liability of allowing them to sell on our property or right of way would not go. And if they could move it to a private lot, if somebody was willing to accept the responsibility, I said that's what I would bring to council, and they were fine. But after talking to Jewett Insurance, I'm 100% confident that tomorrow we'll have the paperwork that's necessary, and I'll email it to you.
And then I can
Remember our
email it to everybody else.
that one.
Yep.
So as long as that comes through, which we're confident it will, the approval will stand. I would like to propose a modification of that approval. I don't know if you know who made the motion in the second, to
It would
define
be in,
the area a little bit better than just
it
Mount
would be in
Jewett.
last month's meeting.
I would like to see it be maybe Center Street and 6 from the bank to Division, which is kind of where the festival resides. Because I don't want to have a situation where something happens on Anderson or way down and then suddenly they're trying to sue the festival or the borough or something if there's an incident. I think if we define the area a little bit better, that's going to be better for everyone.
Me and Frank. It's me and Frank. I made the
Oh,
motion, you second.
okay.
Yeah, I agree with that with Center Street because, like you said, you know, somebody's out messing around up here and the cops get involved, you know, we don't need the festival getting in trouble for that.
So you want to
So I
go
would make a
from
motion.
Up and down any really.
business district, but,
Yeah, business from Chestnut to Division and Center Street and where festival activities are taking place, just in case it gets on the park or.
Right.
okay,
So modify your motion to that. And
okay,
Frank, are you still willing to second that?
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
In the unlikely event that we do not receive said certification by Thursday, what is our contingency plan and how will it be implemented?
I believe you said they would move to private property?
They would have to be, they would not be allowed the sale of alcohol on borough right of way or property. But if they want to move it to a private lot that is willing to accept the liability, I don't see where we have anything in it no different than fire hall or anything else. And they might not bring the can out, they're still drunk.
Okay, so modified motion and second for the business district. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. And assuming paperwork comes through, that stands. If it doesn't, that's our contingency. They have to sell on private
So-
property.
Do you want me to verify with the constables that they're still, I mean, I gave them 7 to midnight both Friday and Saturday night. Is that good, or you want it changed, or I just want to give them a call and say, hey, we're still on for
Sometimes
this?
it should shut down here this.
I don't know what, now with
I
the
don't-
beer garden. and
Sometimes
everything
it's
else,
like
I don't know.
11 or
That's true.
12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if they have a band, it's 11 or 12, I think.
I know, they're there.
Till about midnight.
Yeah.
So I figured that way it would be when it was like probably the busiest.
I think that's good.
I just want to reach out to them and, you know, verify that those hours are
I
good.
have one more thing I want to ask Tom about it. I just got a text message from Courtney asking if the festival could set up 2 vendors in my yard, which has never happened before, but this is fine. Apparently, Brian's doesn't have it again.
What?
That's what I heard.
What?
Okay, well, I just got a text asking if vendors could put up spots in my yard
Oh, it's not
because
anything in front of it.
Brian is now blocking the Swedish Festival from using his sidewalk / properties.
But I thought they could use the sidewalk, I thought the sidewalk was something that.
Public. I would think it would be.
Well, see, the thing is, and this is why I want to talk about this. The sidewalks are public sidewalks, however, there's state right-of-way so far. That's why we had to get construction easements and everything else. There's only so much of that that you can do, but if you put a 10 by 10 pop-up on there, are you really on the sidewalk? You're on somebody's right-of-way and sidewalk. I was gonna bring this up till after the festival, because he did it last year, and he's done it years past, where he blocked his property, or anybody can block his property from the festival. I would like to reach out to our solicitor and change our sidewalk ordinance, if possible, to prevent this sort of action on borough sanctioned offense. The fact that we just put in $1.6 million in free sidewalks, and paid him $500 for access to his property to make improvements, makes me sick. And the total reason why this is happening, it's like last time, it was code enforcement, he was upset and wanted to run off. Now he wants to run me and Barb off, and I'll be at Nebo by the time he runs me off. There is no way in hell that we're gonna be held hostage by a guy who right now has been taking advantage of some stuff.
Absolutely. I've been saying this for years. This man has been holding us hostage and people we can't do that. We'll make him mad. He'll do this, he'll do that. And that proves my point exactly. If he restricts us from using one of his buildings or whatever, you know, it's been the same old thing. He got $38,000 or very close to that in tax abatement on a building that sits down there that does absolutely nothing and provides no jobs. I'm sick and tired of this guy holding this town hostage.
Why don't we sit down and talk?
We can try.
Okay, I mean,
Good luck.
hold on. This has been going on for years from what I understand.
There's a lot of history involved with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of history,
Yeah.
but,
I'm not sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not 100% sure that this conversation is still appropriate for this setting. It feels like it's straying into a territory where it's.
I don't know that it's not legal or personnel yet. It's ordinance changes and revisions, and, you know, I'd like to hear Robin out on it. It's
Let her
I'm
finish.
just trying to figure out a way where we don't have to go into all of that to perhaps, okay, let us use your sidewalks. We'll reimburse you for this or whatever. Where can you come on a win-win situation with this guy? Everybody's got, when you have a fixed image in your mind of someone, it sticks. And I know he can be stubborn, we all can. We get mad at each other, but you know what? We have the best group here, we really do. Bring him in on something, try to figure it out, where we can do a win-win, where it's, you know.
The approach is gonna be that he would have to be approached by someone he does not have history or issues with, like yourself.
All right, that's
To
fine.
facilitate such a thing, and if he's willing to do it, I'm certainly willing to be there and try and smooth things over if
Right.
possible. And I don't know, there's no way to know.
Because you're not a bad person, you're not. You
That's
don't
a yes.
intend for any of that. None of us intend for that. We really don't, but we get something in our mind, and it just seems like,
I have no problem being pragmatic with anybody, as long as it's beneficial for the borough of Mount Jewett. I've always tried to keep it that way.
Exactly.
But I will not be held hostage by it, and I'll still do the legwork I'm willing to work with you, but I'm certainly not gonna be bullied. And if the electorate of the town wants to have me, fine, and Barb's not going anywhere until
Well,
I'm
I
off
don't
this
have-
council or dead.
Yeah, I don't have a
So-
problem with that, just let's try to work with him first, if worse comes to worse, then you have your last option.
Would
But
you
you've
like to make
exhausted
the
it.
approach?
I will try,
That's fine, no,
and I'll say, what do you want from us?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna come up and bring you letters for you to resign, I'm not gonna do that.
We're just gonna want their heads on a platter.
Yeah.
That's fine, and I'm not going anywhere, but
Yeah.
as long as you're willing to take this on, I respect that, and I would be willing to sit down and deal with it, but there should be some, there's gonna be some teeth, and, you know, there's a lot of properties and stuff that we let go to not have this happen, you know, ordinance violations, just because you have an industrial complex doesn't mean it can be a pigsty, and we can change ordinances if need be to remedy these things, so I'm willing to work with it, but if you wanna come to the table,
Let's try the first result.
we'll try the
I
sugar
will get
first.
with him tomorrow, okay? I will call him and get with him tomorrow and say, what is it? You know, I will not go after anybody personally, yeah, we don't agree sometimes, but what can be done, you know, set up, maybe not use the electricity, but set it up for the Swedish festival, because there's gonna be a break in that.
Yeah.
And that's not what people want, they wanna walk through, everything's smooth, from one end to the other.
He owns that whole side, right?
Now, he owns the Thompson building, there's two buildings in the middle.
There's two buildings in the middle, he doesn't own. You
There's not a whole lot of room because of the steps.
Right, so what I'm thinking, but he can't block people from walking across.
No, not through the state right of way, which I'd have to get, which is very tricky to prove where the state right of way is. It's probably only, from what I understood when we did the sidewalk, it's really only one of the old blocks. So there is room, they could do it.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, they're
You don't
trying not
want
to
to,
ruffle.
yeah.
But, I'll be pragmatic, and I appreciate you taking the approach.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
mean, I just
there will
think
be
that-
teeth behind it if he doesn't want to, there's no
That's
two
all
ways
right,
about
but
it.
as a borough council, let's try to do the right thing first, and then if it comes down to that, then we'll have to do what we have to do. Okay?
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, is there anything more?
Make a motion,
Not yet.
oh,
Well,
yeah.
we're close.
Oh, public response.
I don't know if the public has anything to say, we covered a lot.
I have one thing there. As a council member and as a resident of Mount Jewett, I want to take the opportunity to express our sympathy to you
Yes.
personally, Mr. President, in the unexpected passing of your mother. And I hope that the community as a whole and us as individuals, I hope that our outreach was enough to let you know how much we cared for her and for you.
No, thank you for that, and it has been tremendous. One of the reasons I moved to a small town was because I wanted that sense of community, and this town definitely proved it's all of that and more. I mean, it really helps a lot when you're dealing with a shock like that, to have that outpouring of love and support. So certainly it's appreciated. I got the card from the borough and from a lot of others, and I appreciate all of you for being there in whatever capacity you could.
I know in the past, if somebody
said-
loses a loved one like this, Chrissy lost her brother, we did like $100 donation
I'll make
to
that motion.
No Feline Left Behind, or is that what
Yeah,
did
no.
I say that right?
Yeah.
And, or the SPCA or something like that, would you guys?
I'll make the motion. Yeah.
Can we do it to the library?
That's where her memorial donations went.
Yeah.
His
I would
mother
say
was-
yes,
his mother was
if that's
active.
what he would
That's
like.
fine.
I would say if that's what he would like, as long as it's something we can donate
That was
to.
something she enjoyed doing.
Oh, yeah, she was the most
That's
active
fine.
volunteer down there.
Yeah, she was very active as a
That's fine.
volunteer. I
Yep,
would,
that's
I
fine.
would prefer to see it go to the library.
That's fine, I don't care who goes to. That's fine.
I'm gonna abstain
I got a
because you
motion.
wanna-
Robin seconded it.
Oh, okay.
And so you making the motion?
Yes, Robin seconded it.
Robin.
Ron seconded it.
I abstain for obvious reasons.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jason abstains. Motion carried.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
From the public response group, and I just echo that, you know, was a really tremendous lady, and she added a lot to our community. On a different note, I just want to say, on behalf of the Swedish Fest Committee, thank you all for your support of the festival. It's going to be a big festival this year, a lot of work. Committee has done a lot of work, and it's going to be a good festival, so just want to say thank you. I know there's been a lot of talk, a lot of people helping behind the scenes, and we all really appreciate it, so thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to do my first one to actually kind of
Enjoy
be able
it.
to enjoy some of it.
I
Right.
can't do all the kids stuff.
All right, anything else from the public? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A second.
Jesus.
Brett motions, Chris second. We'll go down. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?